Ryan Ecker here with Peak Endurance Solutions. In this video, we're going to be going over vertical kicking. So just as the name of this drill says, you're going to be kicking in a straight up and down vertical posture. So before you can do this drill, make sure that you have access to deep water at your swimming facility or your pool, wherever you swim at. You just want to make sure that when you're doing this drill, your feet aren't hitting the bottom of the pool. There are a few different ways and variations of doing this. And ways of progressing it or making it harder. So in this video, you'll see that I'm going to be kicking with fins and with my upper arm parallel to my shoulders and my elbow bent to 90 degrees so that the palms of my hands are out of the water. This is one of the easiest ways of doing it. Anytime you have the fins on, it's going to be a little bit easier. And if you take the fins off, you'll notice that it's going to be remarkably harder. And then if you wanted to make this drill a little bit easier than it is in this video, you could actually put your hands down by your side or your arms down by your side. And then if you wanted to progress on top of this, you could actually put your arms overhead and tuck your biceps by your ears into a streamline position. So basically the hardest variation of this drill, as you get better at it, would be without fins and then with your arms straight overhead in a streamline position. And so a few focal points when you're doing the vertical kicking is to make sure that you're maintaining a vertical body position and you're not bending forward at the waist or leaning backwards at the waist. You want to stay completely upright so that your head is on top of your shoulders and your shoulders are in line with your hips and your hips are in line with your ankles as they kick back and forth. So that's probably the most important thing. And then the second thing is to try and initiate the kicking through your hips and to minimize the amount of movement you have going on in your upper body. So this drill is great for working on one of the basic concepts of efficient swimming in tautness, which I've covered in other videos. And so tautness, just to reiterate, is essentially the concept of maintaining a long, narrow, and tight body position in the water. And that comes from proper core engagement and a proper kick, as well as minimizing movement in your upper body. And so with vertical kicking, you really want to focus on initiating the kick through the hips with small, quick, and sharp kicks to help keep your head up out of the water, and then minimizing the amount of movement in the upper body. And so you'll notice in this video that I'm initiating the kicks from my hips, minimizing the amount of movement at the shoulders, and then keeping a nice steady head position. And so I'm just rotating to a few different angles so that you can see. And I don't have any underwater footage, but you would notice if I put the camera underwater that I have my head on top of my shoulders and my shoulders on top of my hips and my hips on top of my ankles as they kick back and forth. So I'm completely straight up and down and I'm not bending forward at the waist or leaning back at the waist. So I'll play it one more time so you can see. So again, small, quick, sharp kicks, nice steady head position, minimizing the movement in my upper body. And that is all vertical kicking is. And it's definitely a little bit harder than it looks. It's definitely a little bit more challenging than some of the other kicking variations on your stomach or on your back or on your side, especially once you take the fins off. But it's a great one for really working on the power in your kick, especially if you are newer to swimming or you haven't been swimming your whole life. And especially if you're a runner or a triathlete, you probably have relatively tight and inflexible ankles. And that doesn't necessarily lead to a very efficient and powerful kick. If you watch swimmers who have swam their whole life or who are at the elite or collegiate level, and if you watch their kick, you'll notice that they generate a lot of propulsion from their kick, partially because they have proper kicking mechanics and then also because they have really flexible ankles and they can get a lot more out of their kick with flexible ankles as opposed to inflexible ankles. And so by throwing fins on for this drill and other kicking drills as well, not just vertical kicking, that'll really help you build the flexibility in your ankle and build a little bit more powerful kick. And then, like I was saying before, this is a great drill for helping you focus on what it feels like to have a tight body position in the water and initiating the kick from the hips while maintaining core engagement and minimizing the movement in the upper body.